Don't eat sushi only near the coast.
Exactly.
Don't eat escargot outside of France. Like,
Man, I don't know what this one is. This is a.
You don't know what any of them are.
Looks like
There's
Kool-Aid.
stuff floating in mine.
I think
No, that's what took us so long.
I'm trying to quiet down.
I don't know if I want to.
You
know
guys
that.
didn't see my bat laying around here, did you?
All right.
They all look so much more carbonated in your glass.
Well, it's because mine's plastic.
Yeah.
I figured I'd try and be a good host and give you guys the nice glass
We
glasses.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I'm using plastic because, that's the kind of guy I am. And I got to stop turning this with Dorco. I don't even know who they are. It should be Rhythm and Brews up front. So, okay, here we are. Camera's still running. Cameraman Mike, all
Yes, sir.
cameras still
You're
running.
blinking red.
Okay, so Wednesday edition of the inaugural test shoot or whatever. I think it's working out well enough that these are all going to go live.
This is great.
But basically, this is the screen test sort of run for Craft Beer Budz, where we're sitting in my garage. I'm Jay, this is Matt, this is Mike, Cousin Vinny in the corner, Cameraman Mike in the back. Cameraman Mike and I are roommates, but the rest of us, we exchanged a couple emails, but I've never met these guys. I'm actually surprised that they came over here. Of course, free beer attracts just about anybody.
That's right.
But who knows? Maybe when we're done, these guys might end up buried in my basement. I don't know. It depends on how much I have to
We
drink.
live in
We'll see.
California. There's no basements. I'm fine.
Well, there's still beach, so we can still. We'll find a way. We can find a way. But so anyway, we're here. We're drinking some beers. Well, go ahead, Matt. Why don't you give them a little bit on your background? Might as well start again from left to right.
Okay, I'm Matt. I'm a software engineer by trade, but a beer nerd by hobby. Do a little bit of homebrewing on my own, and just enjoy beer, especially the free kind.
And then Mike.
And I'm Mike. I like drinking beer, so that's why I'm here. And it's free, so
Pretty short to the point.
Yeah.
And I'm Jay. I'm actually a video guy by trade. And because, I won't go into that, the fact that my friends won't come and drink free beers with me. But this is the Wednesday edition. This is our third in our series of tasting. And so we've gone through a couple of beers already. If you want to check them out, you can look somewhere on my channel and you'll see the other beers that we've already had. So this is number 3. And why don't we start with Mike? Who did we start with last time? Who went first?
Did I go first?
Am I think you did. We were
I did,
alternating. So all right, let's start with Matt.
It's a little
And this one,
it's intimidating going after Matt. 'Cause
He knows,
he knows
so
so
much. Yeah, it turns out that and I know that I like beer. I'm not a cicerone by any stretch of the imagination, but it turns out that Matt is the beer nerd who explains everything. So it worked out well for
It's
not
perfect.
having met any of these guys before. And this beer, obviously, again, I know what it is. These guys don't know what we're drinking until after we've tasted it. This is a beer that I have never had. I've been wanting to try, have never had it. So even though I know what it is, I've never tried it until right now.
Another sour beer, off the bat. Fruity. I'm picking up a smell I don't like so much, but the taste is really good. Again, a nice acidity on this one. Dries out the mouth a little bit.
Wow.
Maybe some, I'm just guessing on the fruit. There's definitely fruit in there. I'm going to say it's either a low cherry or a lot of raspberry. Yeah, a lot of acidity on that. I don't know that I'll be able to finish the whole glass. I like the flavor on it a lot. But yeah, this is definitely a sipper for me.
Mike.
Okay, well, it's a little sour for me. It's along the lines of the first one, and if you handed that to me and said, "Here, have this as a drink," there's no way I would qualify that as a beer. Doesn't look like a beer.
Interesting.
Doesn't taste like a beer. I've had some fermented. What's that drink? Sambucha.
Oh, kombucha.
Kombucha. That's what I thought it was at first because of the floaties in there and the rest. The smell is not bad, but the taste is.
The floaties are just some gnats that were swimming around my sink, and
it's a bit sour for me.
kind of popped them in.
Yeah.
So, okay, you guys back there, who wants to go, Cousin Vinny
Good Vinny
or?
on there. Hold on a
I'm,
second.
I'm going with maybe
Over here, Vinny.
maybe a little pomegranate. Super bitter, sour deal for me, for my taste.
I can see maybe pomegranate.
I probably couldn't finish it either.
Yeah. It almost
Dries in my mouth out. Yeah. I agree.
Interesting.
Wow. So here we go again. I'm going against everybody. This is my favorite one we've had so far.
Really?
I love this. It's delicious, and I think you're right about the raspberry. It definitely has some kind of like a little sour fruit to it, but I love it. I think it tastes great.
That is very interesting.
It's like biting into a crab apple where
I'm a big
takes
fan. I
all
like
the-
sour. I like sour candy. I like so for me, this is the best of all we've tried so far. It's become my new favorite.
Wow.
This brings
It's
me
just, so if you all don't want to be
having
finishing
some
yours, I
tongues.
have a big glass.
Well, remember you have work to do still, so don't get all tanked up just yet.
As I said, for a sour beer, it's still a very tasty beer, and I would enjoy a small like sniffer glass of this. But yeah,
Maybe I should have got you a shot glass.
a full pint. There's no way on.
No,
this.
I'll definitely, without even giving my take on it yet, this is not a full pint drink for me either. I'm actually kind of surprised. Is it my turn now? Is everybody?
Sure,
I think so.
Okay, so this is something that I've been wanting to try, and I really dig. There is a lot of raspberry there. I mean, it's clearly. I mean, the smell. I mean, it's kind of got that saison smell. So I think that probably comes from the yeast, if I'm not mistaken.
That's probably yeast. I mean the saison smell. I mean yeast and a little bit of it from the grain.
But you do get the fruit. I feel like I'm getting some of that something else other than the fruit. But then when you drink it, it is in my mind, it's really kind of a palate stripper. It is very tart. And while I do like the raspberry, I couldn't drink more than what's in this cup right here. It's not something that I would go back for.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this is probably the previous sour we had was a Goes, which a lot of times are done kettle sours, especially here in San Diego. I could be wrong, but this tastes more like a pure sour, like a lambic would be my guess. Just based on the complexity of the sourness and some of the smell on the nose, it's not a simple acidity like the last one. There's a lot of complexity to that flavor.
Anything else you want to weigh in on?
No.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna go grab the bottle. Yeah, this is just it's interesting because again, just to reiterate, if you haven't seen the other episodes, Cameraman Mike is not like a big beer guy, and so far he's kind of been the outlier, whereas we have sort of had a consensus loosely on what we think. Mike is kind of going against the grain. But you know what? That's why he's divorced and living with me, because he goes against the grain. And that's how he ended up here. So the beer is just continuing the tradition.
Wow.
So, all right, so I'll go get the bottle.
That means I'm available, ladies.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
It is interesting because you guys are all like, and I'm like,
Here you go, man.
I already took
Again,
his. I can't.
It's a good beer, but I can't do
The first
I
thing
couldn't
that
drink a
comes to
pint
my
of this.
mind is heartburn.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, probably, but man,
It's
I probably should
cool
eat
to
something.
taste.
Council.
Yeah, it's cool to taste it, to try it. But I have to be honest, this is not something I will drink again. This is Council Brewing Beatitude Raspberry Tart Saison. And let's see, Raspberry Ale, 4.5%. And let's see if there's anything else interesting to bottle conditioned. And I'll put some more stats up on the video when I post it. But yeah, that's about it as far as information. What do you want to add there, Matt?
Nothing. I just wanted to read the side of the bottle, really. They say it's
Well,
brewed in
let's
the
all
Belgian
sit
tradition.
here and watch while Matt reads
Yeah,
the
we'll wait,
side
go
of the
ahead.
bottle.
Yeah, again, they say brewed in Belgian tradition with Brett, lacto, and Saison yeast. So yeah, that's where some of that complexity is coming from.
Yeah,
What is Saison
and he
yeast?
did.
Help.
Well, go ahead. Let Matt take that one. Because
So, most beers brewed with Saccharomyces, which is brewing yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, I think. But there are different strains of that yeast. They work well at different temperatures. They provide different flavor profiles, like a Hefeweizen, right? You'll get more banana and clove out of that at different temperatures than you will out of like a California ale yeast, which is just a very clean ale yeast, or lager yeast, which is gonna bottom ferment and really drop out, make crystal clear beer, and not a lot of contributing flavor from the yeast. Saison yeast is kind of almost in that Hefeweizen strain. You're gonna get some black pepper notes, maybe some orange peel, depending on the strain. So yeah, they're just providing some different esters.
we're getting schooled right now.
I think they got the label right.
Well, I mean, it is what it is for a reason. So yeah, there you have it. It is, and actually, you know, I think it's worth mentioning that their Beatitude is, you know, that's a big thing. They have it in a lot of different styles and or a lot of different flavors, I should say. And Council, along with Toolbox, are kind of big on their sours and their barrel programs. So this is, and now I would say I will try a different version of this just to see if it is the same. But yeah, I would say for my palate, this is just, this is not where I am going to gravitate as a craft beer drinker.
I'd like to see that in like a peach or a apricot, something. I mean, raspberry is going to provide a lot of acid right out of the get-go, too.
And I think, I'm pretty sure they do have a peach, depending on what's in season. And I'm going out on a limb here. I think, like a lot of brewers, they go with what fruit is in season. So I think it all depends on what's available. But yeah, so for me, I can appreciate the artisan approach to what happened here. But like I said, this is not something I'm going to probably drink again.
Yeah, I need a lot of friends to finish that bottle.
Yeah. So, well, there, we're dumping all. Craft Beer Mike will finish the Raspberry Tart Saison Beatitude. So, okay, that's it for the third edition, Wednesday. Thanks to Matt, thanks to Mike, Cousin Vinny, Cameraman Mike, I'm Jay, and we will be back tomorrow with another beer on this inaugural screen test shoot of Craft Beer Budz.
Peace out.
Peace, cheers, thanks for checking us out. We'll see you next time.
There you go.
I'm not going to finish this. I can't. You gotta understand my tolerance for alcohol.
And now I'm gonna cut this, but this is